All right, a very good Saturday morning to you. It's New York Vinnie here with you on Drivetime Radio. We catch up with you every Saturday morning at the hour of 11 or thereabouts. Sorry I'm a little late this morning. Just to be honest with you, I've had a little bit of a medical thing going on the last couple of days, and I think we're on the other side of it. But sometimes you got to go with, okay, let's takes you a second to get prepared and get ready to go and get your pains all in the right place. But I think we're all right this morning. I think we're good. I think we're ready to go. And I fully expect to last out to the other side of the show, which will be at about 12 o'clock. And between now and then, we should have some fun and be informative with many of the things that are going on in the automotive world this week, and there is a ton of stuff going on. We're going to have my friend Ray SHEFSKA join us in just a few minutes. Ray of CarEdge.com. This is one of the up and coming websites that will help you in buying a car. If you are somebody who's going in to buy a brand new car, whether you're buying a used car, whether you're trying to get insurance on a car, whatever you have to do with the operation of a new or used car, Car Edge has the means to help you with it, and they would like to do that. And Ray will talk to us a bit about the environment out there in buying a car and how it has changed, how it has gone from A to B in just a short amount of time that we have had to digest everything that's going on in the world right now. Cars, we've seen this from the past. When world events get crazy, as they have been doing here over the last couple of weeks, I don't know what the politicians have to say about it, but I can tell you what the people going into buying cars are saying about it. It's a mess. Earlier this year, you got hit with tariffs in the end of last year. That wasn't something that anybody was expecting. Well, first, actually, we should take it back a little bit more. If you're in the market for an electric car and you thought, you had your whole thought process planned out as of the first of the year when my lease is over, I'm going to turn in my car and I'm going to get an electric car. Or as they might be giants saying, electric car. Electric car. Anyway, but the president, in his wiseness, decided to drop that $7,500 discount federal grant that you got if you're going to buy an electric car to ease it up on your wallet a little bit. And, of course, here we are in March, a year later, less than a year later, 6 months later, and we are now talking about unbelievable hikes in the price of gasoline because of the war with Iran. And I don't know. Many people saw it coming. Many people didn't see it coming. I don't know who knows what, who knew what, who is going to know what. I do know that it's increasingly becoming a mess for the average person that wants to go out there and buy a new car, whether it be a used car, whether it be a new car, whatever the situation is, the consumer is taking it in the shorts. And hopefully Ray will be able to sort a little of that out for you this morning. We're going to take a look at a couple of cars this morning. Yo, Vinnie, what are you driving this week? We'll be up in just a couple of minutes. That'll be after our conversation with Ray. And we'll review a car that we had thought we were going to review last week, but unfortunately we didn't get to it last week because we didn't have a show last week. Everything went belly up. We had the internet, the weather did us in. But we don't expect the weather to do us in. We don't expect the president to do us in. We don't expect the price of gasoline to do us in. All we expect is that we're going to have a good show and you're going to enjoy it and you're going to get a chance to hang out and talk to us and enjoy cars. Got a chance last week to head up to Cars and Coffee in Shoreline, which is one of my favorite Saturday morning spots. The people up there at Cars and Coffee in Shoreline. They do just such a great job. It's just a friendly bunch of people that go up there, that bring their cars, that hang out. Now, if you remember, it was snowing last week. Remember last week, last Saturday morning, it was snowing, and there was people out there with their cars. The other thing that impressed me so much about last week was the fact that it may be the only Cars and Coffee outside of Ballard that I have gone to in the last couple of years that the number one brand of cars at the line, the place where people park their cars and drink their coffee, was Volvo. I was driving the Volvo EX30 cross country, and we'll have a review on that car. We did a Yo Vinnie on it during the week, and what a car that is, man. Let me tell you something. The folks at Volvo got this one right. I don't know how they figured out exactly who to put where, what, how, and when, but they put this car together with some good old Swedish care and love. It was just such a finely built, wonderfully built car, comfortable car, a car that was that you got in it and you drove it, and you said to yourself, "Yeah, this is an electric car, but I want this car." And once you took it off the road and took it up to the off-road park and drove it a little bit through the stuff that you drive off-road vehicles to, it was spectacular. Really was a car that I was just totally impressed with. And we'll have the full review on that next week. But as I said, that was a car that that I just really enjoyed loving, enjoyed driving, enjoyed what I really would have loved to have done with that car. And my friend Indy is gone now, but my friend Indy Indridson, who was my man when it came to Ballard, he knew the Einar Petersons and he knew the everybody in Ballard. This guy sold real estate in Ballard for 50 years. He knew everybody there was to know there. And he's the guy that I would have loved to. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago. He passed away second year of COVID. But he knew everybody. And he was able, he took me to places that you would have never known about in the Nordic community. And this was before the Nordic Museum was up. And, it's funny. I just thought about this last night as I was putting the show together. The one place I didn't go to take a picture of the Volvo was the Nordic Museum. Oh, it really irked me. Sometimes you see these obvious things and for one reason or another, you forget about it. You're thinking about 6 other things, and unfortunately, I didn't get to do it. So the next time I get a Volvo, I will get it out to the Nordic Museum, and we will take twice the amount of pictures. But it wasn't for lack of thinking about it. We were extremely cognizant, and just for whatever reason, it slipped my mind. So I take full responsibility for it. I'm sorry, and when I get my next Volvo, I'll take it out to the Nordic Museum, and you're all welcome to come out there and go for a ride with me in the Volvo. Will that make you feel a little bit better? That make you feel like you're at least getting a little bit of a a little bit of something. I'm just, I'm one guy with a brain that seems like it's deteriorating every day. It's going a little bit less every day, I seriously apologize. Oh man. All right. let's get down to some of the things that have been going on. See if we can get you some information about things that are happening. First of all, as you know, the price of gasoline is ridiculous. I mean, I'd like to say that it's going through the roof for no apparent reason, but there is a reason. We're at war with Iran. As a matter of fact, yesterday, in one of the most um, nonsensical moves that I can think about, and not nonsensical in the sense of foreign policy and things like that, but nonsensical in the fact is I just don't quite get it, how it works, how it'll help. But we lifted sanctions on Iran. Yeah, not Iraq, Iran and their oil. We lifted sanctions on Iran and their oil, which means that now we can buy and sell oil from Iran. I don't know how that's going to help. I'm not an economist. I'm not a person that understands a lot about economy. I understand the basics, but I'll have to do a little more reading and try to figure out how this helps the situation. Because the situation we are at right now is one that really seems like it's getting much worse than better. It is at this point. We just I don't know why anybody would call me during the show here. Anyway, it's getting stranger as it goes along. The price of gasoline, is up $1.02 from last month's average of $2.91. Actually, $2.92, 291.9. Prices are up since last month. Prices are up 23.5% from last week's average of $3.69. And that is we're looking at, and that is let's see, that is well, again, it keeps on climbing. That is the price in the West. Now, if you go to the middle of the country, you'll find that the retail fuel prices are less expensive. The Midwest, north of Texas and Louisiana, are not the lowest in the country, but they're close to it. Lowest prices in the country appear to be in the range of $2.53 to $3. $3.53 to $3.69. That seems to be the low in the country. Out here, we are the highest, $3.92 to $5.70. And if you drive up and down Aurora Avenue, you'll see who's paying the $5.70. Not hard to see it. You're seeing the price of diesel fuel is obscene. It's going anywhere. Diesel fuel is to don't buy it. Don't fill your car with diesel. I don't know if you have a diesel car, what do you fill it with? It used to be a joke around that if you had a diesel car, you could fill it with almost anything and it would run. Not true. You have to put diesel fuel in there. As anybody who believed that statement found out at one point. There were several reports last week of people who said, well, I'll just listen to the people who don't know what they're talking about, and filled up their cars. The national average price is down 0.8 cents from yesterday. So that's a little bit of relief for you, but don't worry, somebody will come along to usurp that 0.8 cents as quickly as they can. Prices are up 23.5 cents since last week. Prices are up $1.01 since last month, and up 81 cents since last year. So you're paying right now through the nose. It's not as high as it's been in the last 2 years. That distinction belongs to, let's see, monthly price trends for regular. You're still up there, but the price from the beginning of the year, January 1st to March 1st, has pretty much doubled. $2.75. Now, I know, again, we live in a bit of a different situation here, so you don't see those $2.75 prices here. But anybody who has to buy gas will tell you that the price is unbelievable, what you're paying for gasoline right now, or diesel fuel, or anything. 321 2009 was the lowest average on this particular day since 2008. It's $1.94. Highest recorded average was the 16th of June in 22, which was smack dab in the middle of COVID, and that was $5.34. So it's a volatile market, to say the least. And again, all of these figures come from the app and the website Gas Buddy that I find pretty reliable when it comes to planning a trip. If you are planning on going somewhere this summer, if you said this would be the perfect summer with Trump as president to get out on the road and see America in that RV, you might want to rethink that one, because the prices seem to be all over the place. The prices seem to be volatile. I will stick with my prediction from what I've studied of this thing, and still stick to my guns, that gas will be $7 a gallon on July 4th. When you want to travel for the July 4th weekend, you will have to spend $7 per gallon of gasoline to go anywhere on July 4th weekend. Just what it's going to be. We don't appear to be making any kind of move to get out of Iran anytime soon. Moves are being made in the Middle East that seems like it's making it the situation worse. And I just don't see anything that's going to change that situation anytime quick. So that's the gasoline. And listen, we are gasoline addicts. We are all addicted to gasoline, except if you were smart enough to buy an electric car over the past couple of years. If you made the switch to electric, you somehow have so far dodged the biggest part of the bullet for the prices that are out there. You've managed to at least look real smart right now. Don't know how long that's going to last what's going to happen. But if you stuck with the electric car, if you said, you know what, the fact that I can buy a Mustang um, Mach E GT for, I don't know, walk off the lot with one for, I don't know, a $2,000 down payment and $150 or $170 a month lease payment, you look pretty smart. And we got to hand you it to you. You were better than most people. Because most people, lots of people, many people went back to the big honking pickup trucks. Oh, Trump is president, so hey, we're going to be okay. You know, he's going to lower the prices on everything. Well, first of all, no one man lowers the prices on everything. It's a fallacy. I don't know that Biden was more responsible for many of the lower prices that were out there than Trump was, or Clinton, or anybody. I just don't think that they seem to have that much of a hand in how it goes. It's market forces. It's so many different things. The Straits of Hormuz is an incredible factor in all of this. If you want to learn something about how this all works and how it is, get up to the minute ideas on how this is going to turn out. One of the things that you should check out, one of the hot prices, YouTube channels that you should check out is what's going on with shipping. It's a guy that is a professor of former merchant marine that has run companies. That's a professor. He teaches shipping economics in the world. And it just appears that he has an extremely credible and incredible finger on the pulse of what's going on with shipping. He has taught me more in the past 2 weeks about shipping and how it relates to how people uh, logistically take apart this stuff. And who were the smart people and who were the stupid people when it came to this kind of stuff. And it just seems like, he's got definitely a conservative tilt to him. But so far, I've seen that most of the things that he has talked about in shipping and in the price of gasoline and how it affects the numbers that we pay, the price that we pay for gasoline in the pump at the pump, directly relates to the economy, the world, and all of this different stuff that is going on out there, and how some of it probably should have been thought out a little bit more than it has been. Now, again, we don't know the whole story, so it's going to be kind of hard to just point a finger and say, you're to blame, you're to blame, you're to blame. But it certainly looks like they didn't do their homework. How much homework they could have done, we don't know. It's kind of hard for us to figure that out. But anyway, so expect to pay more at the pump. No relief coming anytime soon. All right? Yeah, we got that. Want to remind you that our show is brought to you by my good friend George Jackson. George Jackson is a great guy. He is the man at the helm of djpromo.com. And when you need some kind of business promotional item, a jacket, patches, a sticker, T-shirts, uniforms, everything that falls in the realm of business items to put your name out in front of your customers, to make people aware of who you are, how you do what you do, and how people can get in contact with you, how they can remember you, how they can be reminded of you, and how they can keep the name of your company on the tip of their tongue 24/7. George has an uncanny ability to come up with the right thing for you and your company. He won't let people forget your name. And at a reasonable price, at better service that you get from most places. I can tell you about service when it comes to this stuff. But George has his pulse on the finger, or his finger on the pulse, I should say, not his pulse on the finger. But he knows this whole market, and he's able to find out the right thing for you to attract your audience, to make them remember you at the best price possible. That's been George's game the whole time he's been doing it. He knows how to play it. He plays it well. He's done wonders for anybody that I've turned him on to. He's gotten the best quality stuff at the best price. Go on to his website, gjpromo.com, and check him out. He's a great guy to do business with as well. You'll be glad that you hooked up with George Jackson, and that you decided that you weren't going to go through the hassle of going to these different online places that you're dealing with AI and Miss I and Popeye and Olive Eye and IAIE and all of that stuff. You deal with George. And George, he's a good guy. He gets you the best price. He gets you what you want, the right color. And he gets it to you when he says he wants. He's going to get it to you. And if there's a problem, he makes it good. He stands behind his work. And how many places do you see that these days? Yeah, I don't. All right. Again, gjpromo.com is the way to get a hold of George. If you are in need of the certain kind of things that George provides, which are business specialties, business advertising specialties, George will take care of you and take care of you in the best way possible. All right. Back to Drive Time Radio. I'm New York Vinnie, back here with you. Thanks a lot also to our good friends that sponsor the show. We always appreciate the people that jump in with us and take a few minutes and write us a check so that we can come to you every Saturday morning at 11. All right, my next guest is a gentleman we've had on before. We hope to have him on more in the future, but we got him right now. And if you are in the market for a new car or a used car, there are a million sites out there that you can go to and you can click on, and they'll give you this information, that information. I haven't seen a site that gives you as complete information, the data, the stuff that you need to be an informed consumer when you go in and buy a car, as CarEdge.com. And CarEdge.com is the brainchild of Zach and Ray SHEFSKA. Zach is had to be like an honor student in school and a smart kid with a good head of hair. And Ray is with us, is his dad. And Ray sold cars for 38, 39 years.
43.
43.
But who's counting?
Look like 38, though. and he's run dealerships. He's managed dealerships. He's probably... Anybody who's been around as long as he has remembers the smell of the white wall cleaner that you used to spray around the white walls to get them clean, and burned your hands when you used it. But Ray joins us now. We get a chance to talk to him a little bit about car buying and what the situation is out there these days. Good morning, Ray. How you doing?
I am doing well, Vinnie. It is so good to see you again today, and so good to be with you. I really, really appreciate being here.
Thank you, and I appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your schedule to do this. I know that you guys. I'm just before I jump into questions. I just want to say I am so proud to watch your and Zach's growth over the last few years. I mean, last time we spoke, you guys were called YAA, so that's how long it's been.
Yes.
And you were in the infancy of giving out advice to people, not trying to sell them cars, but just trying to get them into a space where they walked into a dealer and they weren't clueless. They had at least some information under their arm, in their folder, on their phone, so that they could say, wait a minute, hang on a second. This is how this is supposed to be. It has to be a nice feeling of accomplishment for you guys.
It is. I mean, we started a little over 6 years ago. And, you know, our website has grown. Our offerings to customers out there and the way we help them has grown. Our subscribers on our 2 YouTube channels, I think we're up to, I don't know, close to 820,000 subscribers between the 2 YouTube channels. It has been a pretty incredible ride, but we have helped thousands upon thousands of people become better informed consumers before they ever set foot into a dealership. And to know that we've been able to help people do that and save them millions upon millions of dollars, it is such a great feeling, and it gives me a reason to wake up every day so that I can help a few more. Good.
That's great, because this is it's a minefield when you go to buy a car. It's just nothing but a minefield. And going into a dealership, the average person, I would hazard, doesn't stand a chance unless they have some kind of information of what they're looking for, how this whole thing of buying a car works. And one thing I noticed too, and I know that I look at your chats all the time, and you're predominantly male, but I also notice the amount of women that you help buy cars who are really, I mean, you think a guy is lost when they walk into a dealership. You know, a woman walks in and she may just have one of like the old cartoons where it has sucker on it, and the wolf is looking at her.
Yeah, it is. There's no excuse today, with as much information that is out there, for people to ever walk into a dealership unprepared. We know that it has been information asymmetry for like ever when it comes to the information that the dealer has and the limited information that the consumer has, and that most customers don't necessarily fully understand the process and are shocked and amazed as to how miserable the process can be. And so our whole reason for being is to try and level that playing field, to be able to provide a customer with a clear path as to how it should work, who the good dealers are, who the bad dealers are, the things to look out for, so that you can, even if you don't feel like you're negotiating from strength, you're negotiating from confidence, a confidence that you didn't have, say, 6 or 7 years ago before we existed, and you just walked in blind.
Right. And confidence in almost anything you do is such a key tool, whether you play sports, whether you're driving down the street, whether you're buying a major purchase in a car. For most people, is the first or second biggest purchase they're going to make in their lifetime. You should have confidence, because dealers, people will smell non-confidence in somebody, and most of the time, they'll trounce on it.
Oh, absolutely. And dealership personnel are trained to smell that lack of confidence. They know when they have a sucker in front of them, and they will take advantage of that person. One of the things that salespeople and sales managers hate is an informed customer. There is a reason that there's certain truisms in the car business, and one of the truisms is those who can afford to pay the least pay the most, and those who can afford to pay the most pay the least. And why is that? Well, those that can afford to pay the most are better educated and better aware of what the circumstances are surrounding the purchase. They understand it better. Those who can afford to pay the least are the ones that get taken advantage of because they don't walk into the dealership with that understanding. And salespeople know that instantly and just take advantage of them. So our whole theory is we want you to be one of the ones that can afford to pay the most, but you end up paying the least because you were educated.
And you get the most from it for just taking the time to either join the Car Edge community or to have you go both ways. You have the information up there. You can do it yourself, or you have a car buying service. You have a data bank that is probably just as good as most of the OEMs have. And you also have other services that you do. We'll talk about those in a minute. How is the car? Last time we spoke, you could the cars, used cars, new cars were going up like the stock market. People are buying cars as investments. I trust that is not still happening. I think that it's a whole different ball game these days with the way the car business has evolved.
Things have calmed down to a degree. Last time we spoke, used car prices were absolutely sky high. We have seen those values retract from those sky high pricing, but they're still probably 20 to 25% higher than where they should be. And there's what we have seen is that there's a limited number of people that can actually participate, say, in the new car side of things. And so manufacturers are catering more towards the people who can afford those $60, $70, $80, $90, $100,000 plus vehicles, as opposed to the vast majority of Americans who would feel more comfortable in $35,000 or less vehicles. And since those $35,000 or less vehicles are harder to come by today, that has negatively impacted what you have to pay for a pre-owned car that would fall into the $25,000 to $30,000 price range. So it's better today than it was when we last spoke, but it is still not necessarily in the consumer's favor. There's just so many things going on between interest rates, gas prices going up, average transaction prices on new cars approaching $50,000. Average asking prices on new cars, $51,440 last month. I mean, these are not average new car payment, $803. These are not prices and payments that the average person can actually afford.
Yeah, certainly not I, and not most of the people I know. I mean, you hope that you can get a payment that you can afford, and that you can get a car that you can afford. But it seems more and more as you go shopping, the manufacturers, save for probably Hyundai and Kia, have kind of pulled themselves out of the affordable car market. There's not many choices, should I say, of affordable vehicles of a $35,000, a $30,000 vehicle anymore. They just don't make as much anymore.
From between $20,000 and $35,000, it probably represents less than 8% of all available new cars out there, and there's a reason for that. The profit margin for the manufacturers just isn't there on those cars. And, recently, between write-offs and write-downs that manufacturers have done since they're pivoting away from EVs, those losses have totaled over $70 billion. Well, if you have to somehow make up $70 billion in losses, are you going to produce more low profit margin vehicles or more higher profit margin vehicles? And I think we see the answer to that. And A perfect example of that would be Stellantis, which is Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. And their sales have moved in the wrong direction for years and years and years and years, because what did they do? They tried to go up market, upscale, and they abandoned their customers. Well, now they're trying to recruit those customers back by lowering prices again and getting back into the price points that their customers were used to. But too many of the manufacturers chased big bucks, and now they have to chase the big bucks to cover all the losses on the EV pivot that they've gone through.
And will they? And by the way, we're talking to Ray SHEFSKA from CarEdge.com. Go to his website, go to his and his son's website, and check out this dedicated group of people. Even if you're not in the market for a used car, even if you're a car person and you just want to learn a little bit more about what's going on in this volatile market these days. But is the overall picture here with electric vehicles going by the wayside, it seems, going to change again radically because of what we're seeing in gas prices? Will the manufacturers once again say, oh, well, we made another mistake. Now we got to get all that stuff out of the closet and then put it into the patuner again and start cranking out electric cars?
Well, the industry is very reactive and not very proactive. And we have seen through the first, I think, 2 or 3 weeks of what's going on in Iran, through our car search, a 20% surge in people searching for EVs. Now, will that actually translate into sales? I don't know. The question becomes, how high will gas prices have to get before people start saying to themselves, okay, I want to reverse course. I want to get out of my gas vehicle and I want to get into an electric vehicle. Will people suddenly say, I want electric, or will they suddenly say, I want to downsize and I want to get another gas vehicle that gets better mileage? Maybe the change will be people will want to get out of their big pickup trucks and big SUVs and get into smaller pickup trucks and smaller SUVs. So it'll be interesting what happens over the next 60, 90 days. But I don't think any of the manufacturers are even remotely considering at this point pivoting back towards EVs.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's been such a loss for them, such a mind blower. I mean, and it's amazing to me too that more of these executives didn't lose their jobs. I mean, if I had a dealership or a mechanical shop and a guy cost me, $1 million, at the very least he'd be gone, right?
Well, that's the joy of working in corporate America.
Yeah.
I like to say nothing succeeds in corporate America quite like failure. And the rewards seem to be greater for failure than success. So, it's crazy that some of these people, you look at who they are, Jim Farley, for example, and some others in the industry, and you wonder, well, how do they still have their jobs? The bets that they made were the wrong bets, and they were not little bets. They were billions upon billions of dollars in bets. And if you or I did it, we'd be on the street looking for work. And yet these guys are still happily employed and making their $20 to $30 million a year.
Kind of strange. I should have stayed in school a little longer, or at least another year.
Yes,
Ray, if I'm going to buy a car, I've decided I want a new car. I want to send my daughter off to college, and I wanted to have a nice car that she could take over to Pullman or to the Midwest, and I can feel confident she's in the car. What do I have to know? Going and give me a couple of things that I should know as I'm going into a dealer, and also what kind of dealer should I look for?
This is going to sound strange, but you need to look for that honest dealer. And I know we're convinced because of the dishonest dealers out there that there aren't any honest ones. but there are, and actually we have data to back this up. There are more transparent and honest dealers, way more than there are non-transparent and bad actors in automotive. So you really need to do some researches by talking to your friends and family who have shopped at dealerships, by going to websites like CarEdge, where we have contacted over 10,000 dealers over the course of our business lifetime, and gathered out the door price quotes, and we have developed a dealer transparency index, and you can actually go to CarEdge and check the dealer transparency index in your area for your dealers. We haven't done every dealer yet, because
Right.
there's like 40,000 dealers between new cars and used cars.
What are you waiting for, pal?
Well, we're working on it. But at least we actually have the receipts. You can actually look at the dealer breakdowns that they sent us, the worksheets with all the new fees that suddenly popped up. So you just need to do the research to figure out who's fair and honest and who isn't. And then once you've established that, you need to figure out what it is that you want and whether or not it makes sense. And you can go once again to CarEdge. I mean, this is one of the reasons we exist, because we grade cars. You can find out all the data as to how much a car will cost you, what the depreciation factors will be, what the fuel cost will be over 5 to 10 years, when you can expect a major repair to occur. And so you can look at cars that way to get a better idea as to what's going to last and what would be more suitable for your daughter as she's traipsing around the Midwest and the Northwest. And once you've figured those things out, then it's time to negotiate and get localized information as to what the market conditions are in your area, so that you don't overpay. I have never suggested that dealerships shouldn't make money. All I ever suggest is that they make a fair amount of money and not take advantage of customers. And their response would be, well, we have to take advantage of some because, so many of the others just don't want to pay us enough profit that it makes sense for us.
Right. And it seems like, and I know you probably keep much more of an eye on this than I do, but it seems like dealers can act without fear of any kind of reprisals, any kind of laws that really have teeth in them to be able to go after some of these dealers that do rip people off, the dishonest dealers. I know that there was an FTC,
Yes.
The Cars Act a couple of years ago that it got gutted when Trump took office because I don't know how many people contributed to his campaign. Who knows? But what the reason was. But it happened.
Well, just recently, last week, the FTC sent letters to 97 dealers and dealership groups, reviewing with them that they may have been out of compliance when it came to how they advertised the price of the cars, and so it was more or less an attempt by the FTC to remind dealers what they should do and how they should do it, and so that the price that's advertised should be the price that any customer that comes in and wants to buy it would have to pay for it. It can't be a price based on incentives that, well, most people wouldn't qualify for. It can't be a price that suddenly has $3,000 of undisclosed dealership add-ons. Whatever that advertised price is should be the price that the customer should be able to buy the car for. So I think the FTC is trying to make dealerships aware of how it is they should operate. The fact that they only sent letters to 97 dealerships or dealership groups when there's, between new and used car dealers, over 40,000 dealers out there, perhaps the government should have procured them a few more sheets of paper. Yeah. And they should have sent out 40,000 letters. But we at Car Edge will hammer this home every day, that we need to reward the good dealers, and there are laws and regulations on the books, both federally and in every state, and none of them mean anything if there's no enforcement. So we need the states to enforce their existing laws, and we need the feds to enforce their existing laws, and then perhaps we'll see a material change in how some of these dealerships do business.
Which model is better for the consumer? Is it better that we try to get away from the small local dealer, and we see these huge dealer groups buying up dealers all over the place, bringing, I guess, uniformity to some of this? Or is it better that this is all broken up state by state, and no group should be able to own too many dealerships in a particular area?
I think the mom and pop stores tend to react towards taking better care of customers than some of the larger dealership groups do. You know, if it's a mom and pop organization that owns one or two dealerships, and they're local, they really can't afford to piss off their customers.
Right.
Now, if you're part of a large dealership group, guess what? You might have 200 other dealers in your group, so that if you have one or two stores that are bad apples, you can live with that. Now, I know when I worked for the Penske organization, our area vice president used to say to us, if you've got a customer issue, handle it at your dealership. If it makes its way to me, you are not going to like how much of your money I'm going to spend to make that customer happy. So I think it depends on the organization, and it depends on the strength of area vice presidents. But I honestly believe that the small mom and pops are more customer friendly in the long run, because they're truly just small community-based dealerships, than some of these large dealer groups.
Is it worth it for you to seek those dealers out if you're buying a car? Do you think you get a better deal, or is it something where even though you may pay a few dollars extra, the service that you will get from that particular organization is going to, put into play the stuff that you're talking about?
Yeah, the concept of get a better deal, you really have to define what a better deal is. If you can establish a good relationship with a dealership, and let's say maybe you're spending $100 more to buy the car at that dealership than at a different dealership, but you have a relationship there. Your service advisor knows you. If and when you ever have an issue, they always step up to take care of it. They go to bat for you with their factory reps if need be. There's something to be said for that. And the whole, I managed a dealership, a Nissan dealership outside of Atlantic City. And one thing I understood is there wasn't going to be any growth to the east. It was, ocean out there. So we had to treat our customers right. We had to take care of them. We had to develop those relationships. We wanted them to come back. And so we would do what we could. Now, it might not mean we could get the price quite as low, but damn it, I was there to take care of them if they ever had an issue. And we were going to step up and help them any way we could. So I think the important thing is to find a dealership that you're comfortable with, and start that relationship and keep that relationship going. It's important for the dealership to do that, and it'll certainly make your life easier down the road when it's time to get another car.
And it means so much, I think, to people. Service is a lost art in our society these days, and these moms and pops, or a couple of dealership dealers will tend to give you that service, because, as you said, they have to depend on selling you another car in 3 or 4 or 5 years.
And let's face it, those little mom and pop dealerships, they're the ones that are sponsoring little league teams and this and that, and so they try to be good community citizens. And the big large dealer groups, the corporate dealer groups, Yeah, you can ask them to spot, but they don't care to the same degree the local folks would.
Right.
So there is. Listen, I've worked for both. It's certain things happen faster in a mom and pop store than in a corporate store. Other things that corporate stores can do because they have so much more access to money that mom and pops can't do. I've worked in both, but ultimately it's the mom and pops stores that, well, they're part of the community, and they should be seen as such, and they want to help their communities, and the people that live there ask them to help the communities.
Yeah, it's a natural combination, but one, again, that people don't think about all the time because they see that there's an ad in the paper and it's $500 cheaper than the mom and pop. I know we're coming up on time here. A couple of real quick things. If I'm a person that's just disgusted with the whole process, I skeeve the idea of having to go into a car dealership. What do you do for me? If I pick up the computer and I say, okay, CarEdge.com, what makes your service? What do you do for me that'll make my life easier?
Well, we offer a couple different services, but we have a white glove service, a concierge service, where you have a conversation with someone on the concierge team. You let them know what kind of car it is you want, color, combination, all that neat stuff. And we charge it. It's normally $9.99 to do it. I'm not going to lie to you. Every month we run some type of special towards the end of the month, whether it's $200 off or $300 off. So there's always, if you wait to the end of the month, there's always savings to be had. And we will go out, we will find the vehicle, we will negotiate the deal, we will review the deal with you, we will coordinate everything for you. So all that you have to do is go in, sign the papers, and pick it up. Or if you prefer, we can get it delivered to your house. If you are more of a DIYer, we have our CarEdge Pro service, which is, I think, $49 a month. And what that is, it's all the data that we've collected, plus it includes an AI agent that will actually work on your behalf. And how does that work? You pick out cars that you like. You tell the AI agent, this is the car that I'm interested in. And the AI agent will create a pseudonym so that the dealership doesn't know they're dealing with you, and will create a email account and phone numbers so that they can communicate directly with the dealership on your behalf and negotiate entirely on your behalf while you're living your life doing whatever it is you want to do. Because the AI agent is strictly focused on getting add-ons taken off and working on the lowest possible out the door price. And it doesn't emotionally give in because, well, it doesn't have any emotions. We haven't programmed those in yet.
I don't know. You haven't talked to my Alexa lately. I'm starting to wonder about her a little bit.
But this is the AI agent that we have used to, at this point, I think we've had conversations through the AI agent with over 50,000 transactions. And this is how we gather the data that we gather as to what dealers are adding add-ons, what dealers are charging for their dock fees and things like that, so that we can grade the dealers. But the AI agent is the one that can actually do all the work on your behalf. So those are two ways that we can help you. And then for people who like to negotiate on their own, well, we've got all kinds of free information that's available for you that you can utilize so you have a better understanding of what market conditions are. And you can just jump onto our community forum, and there's folks on there that will help you and help review your deals.
Can you also help people with used cars and leasing? Do you
Absolutely.
do that?
Used, new, leases, finance, cash matters not to us.
So it's like kind of like a one-stop, where if you are going to buy a car, you're going to purchase a car, you can go on it. At the very least, go on and look at the free stuff and get the information. There's no charge for the information.
No, and probably 99% of the stuff is free, from email templates that you can use to contact the dealership to guides as to what cars should be worth in 5 years from now, how the vehicles stack up. There's just so much information that's on there, blogs, guides, videos. It's all there, and 99% of it's absolutely free.
Now, will your AI agent make me look good if I'm driving a new Corvette?
The Corvette will make you look good.
All right. Before I let you go, I drive a new car every week. I test cars, review cars, so on and so forth. In the last 2 weeks, I've driven a Volvo that has a fireplace in the dashboard and an Audi that has a karaoke machine in it. In the car, so when you're charging the car, you can sing karaoke. Which of those, if you were going to buy a new car, which of those two would be a must-have for you? The fireplace or the karaoke?
Well, it was cold here at the Jersey Shore this winter. I think the fireplace would give me a sense of warmth that I so desired this past winter. So I think I'd have to go for the fireplace.
Well, in the neighborhood I grew up in, if we saw flames in the car, we thought it was Uncle Nunzio. And that's all I'll say about that. Ray, it's been a pleasure to talk to you, man. And once again, the website is caredge.com. If you're in the market, you're thinking about buying a car, you're thinking about leasing, whatever you're thinking about with cars. Also, extended warranties and insurance they also do.
Yes.
So that's something to also take a look at as well. CarEdge.com. Ray, it's been a pleasure, man. I get a kick out of talking to you, and I'm so happy for your success. And I hope it won't be another couple of years till we get together and talk.
Yeah, we need to do this more often. I always enjoy our time together. It's some of the best time I get to speak when I get to speak with you. The laughs just always seem to flow when we're together.
And we get the information now too, which is, if you can do that, you're doing a good job, right?
Yeah, we're funny, entertaining, and informational. It doesn't get any better than that.
Vaudeville. There's going to be a thing, vaudeville.
Yeah.
Ray, take care of yourself. Say hi to Zachary and take care of yourself, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Terrific. Thanks, Vinnie.
All right, from CarEdge.com, that's Ray SHEFSKA. Really, if you're in the market for a car, you're thinking about it, go check the website out. It's well worth the few minutes that you'll spend on it, just exploring it and looking at the things that are there. All right, well, stick around. Coming up, we got Vinnie. What are you driving this week after this? All right, there we go. There is Ray SHEFSKA. Got a chance to spend some time with him. Thank you to Ray and the folks at CarEdge. Once again, caredge.com, CAREDGE. It's a veritable theme park of automotive information that you can go through. And depending on what information you need to get yourself a new car or a used car or insurance or so on and so forth, lots of stuff there, lots of information. And as we always say on this show, we always quote the famous Cy Sims from back in New York, an educated consumer is our best customer. Okay, Vinnie, what are you driving this week? Where do you see this thing? Where do you take a look at this barouche that I'm driving this week? This is a lot of fun. As a matter of fact, as soon as I get out of here, I'm going up to the ORV park and going to put this thing through its paces off up there, that ORV park on off of Highway 9, which I always love driving on. I put the Springsteen on, and I try to find the spaces where he mentions Highway 9 chrome, fuel injected and stepping out over the line. Anyway, the Toyota Sequoia is one of those vehicles that you just love. But you take the Sequoia and you add on the TRD Pro package, and it just makes this vehicle an out-of-the-world vehicle to drive, to move around in, take care of business. in. First of all, you got to take a look at the color. You can't miss this thing. I've had more people stop over the last couple of days that I've been driving this car around and ask me what the name of the color, what color is it? I mean, it's a color that gets a reaction. Wave Runner is the name of the color. It is a beautiful blue, a light blue that just it grabs people. It really grabs people and makes them stop and look and feel an emotion. I don't know that I've seen a color in a car that I can remember, I'm sure there has been, that I can remember that's made people react to it as much as the color on this vehicle. It is really spectacular. The big Sequoia, of course, is Toyota's big car that really is a great riding and driving vehicle. I mean, you think a big thing like this is going to be all over the place, but the way they had the suspension tuned with the TRD Pro suspension that is in this thing, it's unbelievable how well this vehicle handles the road, handles the asphalt. Forget about off-road. We'll get to that in a minute, but just the little things that they think about in this vehicle. And if you open up that back window, and how many cars these days have a back window that opens up separate from the tailgate, but the Toyota has it. It's a little thing, but you find 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week you're using this particular piece of engineering to give you the option of taking stuff out of there without opening up the gate, stuff falling out and everything. Really very, very special. The TRD package also includes side running boards that are made out of tough metal that you can step up on, even if you're a big guy like me, and stand on those running boards. The interior is really one of the best interiors, one of the best feeling interiors that I have been in a vehicle like this. Whatever material that they're making the interior out of in this vehicle, it's not only is it a material that is comfortable and non-chafing and makes you feel comfortable to sit in, but it's also as far as if you, after a day of mud and this and that, you get in there and there's mud all over the place, and you take the wet rag and boom, boom, boom. It's clean in time for Saturday night. The TRD engine, Toyota Racing Development, the engine in this TRD Pro is a hybrid, gives you unbelievable gas mileage. I mean, you get, we're at 18 or 19 miles a gallon on this thing. The TRD Pro gives you 437 horsepower out of this iForce Max engine. It's a V6 twin turbo, twin screws in this thing, along with the hybrid equipment that you can see in any electric motors. You combine it together, and it has the capability to go off-road. It's not a light off-road. This has the same equipment that the Tundra has. This has the equipment that will, not that I think gas mileage matters so much when you get off the road like that, but with the price of gas the way it is now, guess what? It does. It does matter right now. Now, it's not the, I don't know, it's not a vehicle that is, it's not a Grenadier or something like that, but, or the top of the line Mercedes or the Land Rover. But you know what? It's pretty damn close. And for most people, it's going to be a vehicle that is going to give you everything you need, especially the paint color. I love it. I tell you what, if you get lost in the woods, you get lost on a mountain, they go out to look for you with the helicopter. With this wave maker, they're not going to miss you. They're going to see you. They're going to say, there's Vinnie. It is the wave maker Toyota TRD Pro paint that is not offered on any other car. You're going to see this no matter where you are. I think these are 1 year old, 1 year only colors as well. You're going to pay, you're going to start at about $83,000, $84,000 for this vehicle. But you know what? It's soup to nuts, off of the line, out of the showroom, out the door. This thing is going to have everything that you need to get wherever you need to go. You're not going to have to stop at the place and get it set up by Max, the off-road guy. It's all there. All of the special suspension, the heavy-duty sway bars, the different gearing, the solid rear axle, the hill holder clutch. Not clutch, I should say, but the hill holder equipment that's in the car, the low gearing. All of that stuff is in the car and ready to go. Besides that, what's interesting is you're going to get the 14-inch touchscreen, the power lift gate, the 20-inch wheels, the heated and cooled front seats, the power folding third row in the back. So you're not killing yourself trying to reach back there and drop the row of seats that are all the way in the back. And when you open this thing up all the way, it's going to be like you have a football field. The iForce Max Hybrid, like I said, twin turbo, 3.4 liter V6. A lot of people are a little sketchy about the V6 because they loved that V8 that was in the Tundra. But, I don't find any lack of power with 437 horsepower. The four-wheel drive that is optional on most of the standard, though, on the TRD Pro models, and all of the different off-road equipment, the Fox dampers, the front skid plate, the locking rear differential, the 33-inch tires. You can get the TRD equipment on a lot of stuff, but you can't get the TRD Pro, I think, on any of it, except the Pro. You get the crawl control, which, if you're going up and down steep hills, is something that you will ever wonder how you lived without. Quiet cabin. It rides like a Cadillac. Its behavior, its off-road manners are spectacular. And even though this thing is big, it's wide, it feels comfortable staying in the lane it's supposed to be in. It isn't an effort to drive this car. Some of these cars, you get in them, you get in this truck, and it's an effort to, am I close enough? Am I here? Am I there? Am I in the lane? Am I out of the lane? The Toyota is designed and built and has the equipment to say that you're in the right lane. You're where you're supposed to be with the car. I don't feel that it gets out of where it is supposed to be. Depending on which, the twin turbo and everything, it'll get you up to 94 miles per hour in about 15 seconds, quicker than most of the vehicles. I think the TRD off-road stuff probably will maybe be a smidge lower in time because it's got all that heavy equipment in it. By the way, if you're not looking for this thing for off the road, you're looking for a big, beautiful Tahoe or that type of vehicle that is, you're in it for much more of the luxury of it than of the off-road capability of it. Take a look at their 1794 edition. Take a look at their Capstone edition. They are incredible. They will give you pretty good towing capacity. I believe that they're around 9,500 pounds towing capacity. I think they're in that neighborhood. Depending on how you equip them, you're going to get different types of towing capacities. We told you so far we're getting about 16 and a half. We haven't taken it on the Joe Riccici Memorial Test Circuit yet, but I'm pretty sure that we're going to get decent numbers there as well. The third row of seats is standard equipment. There's a bench set up Our particular vehicle has the captain chairs in it. The panoramic sunroof is nice, but don't forget that sunroof comes with a cost. So if your kids are 6.5 or 7 feet tall, you may want to stay away from the sunroof or trade in the kids, one or the other. Again, heated and cooled second row seats, the premium stereo system that's in there. That's I think it's a Harman Kardon. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is. And maybe the one place where the Sequoia suffers a little bit is if you want to use the 3 rows of seats and you want to put a lot of luggage in it. Not the best of vehicles. I mean, you can crave it in it, but if you take a look at the roof rack, it's one of those roof racks that is very secure to the vehicle, is very set up so you can lay a lot of luggage in it, or you can put a tent on top of it. If you're one of those people that like to sleep in bear country, and your girlfriend says, "Well, I'm not gonna sleep in the bear country. You gotta put me in a tent on top of this car, and still you're gonna have to sit out there with a shotgun all night. I'm just not doing it." Well, let's allays that argument a little bit. You put a tent up there, and you'll be okay. You can slide the rear seat forward so that you'll get more space. You don't get a flat load floor in this thing, so that's something to be cognizant of if you're going to look at this vehicle, depending on the kind of space that you need in the back. I think that the Sequoia will, for most people, in most cases, fit them and their luggage where you want it to go. I know I was looking at a couple of the reviews. There was one of the reviews where they said they were able to fit 40 suitcases back in there with the second and third rows down and folded. As I said, the 14-inch touchscreen is very logical, very sensical, and it has all kinds of switches that give you the heat and all of the things that are set up there on the center stack that give you all of the different drive modes, all of the different particular ways that you can set this vehicle up to drive it whichever way you have to go. You got a ton of the Toyota driver assistant features, the forward collision warning, the automated emergency braking, the lane departure warnings, the adaptive cruise control. As far as a warranty, and this is where when you're buying this kind of vehicle, I think you really come up with some good stuff when you buy this stuff from the factory. Got a limited warranty. It covers you for 3 years, 36,000 miles. You got a powertrain warranty that gives you 5 years or 60,000. The hybrid components, don't forget this is a hybrid, are covered for 10 or 150,000, and complimentary maintenance is covered for 2 years or 25,000 miles. So, if something goes wrong with this thing in the first, 5, 6, 7 years that you drive this car, 3 at the very least, it's going to be covered. And Toyota dealers are generally pretty good about the warranty stuff and taking care of their customers. Why they do such a good repeat business. It's why they also do, have less problems with these cars. I mean, fortunately, it's a good thing for the different dealers to sell these cars that they don't have the problems that a lot of other makes see with their particular cars. The tires on these things are Bridgestone Duelers, extra load. They feel good. They seem to work pretty good. Again, we told you before, 5.37 horsepower, 583 pound-feet of torque when you add in that nickel metal hydride battery pack, and it all works seamlessly. You can't really tell that you're driving a hybrid with this thing. It's that simple. 5.6 to 60 miles an hour, 14.3 in the quarter mile, 16.4 seconds to the 100-mile an hour start, and braking 70 miles an hour to 0 miles per hour, according to Car and Driver, drops it down to 194 feet. So you get it stops as well as it goes. So good stuff out of this thing. I'm really, I'm very, very excited about this vehicle. As I said, today we're taking it up to the Joe Riccici test circuit, and hopefully my dad will be watching down on us from wherever he wound up and keep us, kind of chilled out and happy. And that's kind of what he does, when we go up there. It's amazing how much he enjoys the fact that we have a track, a test track, a road test track that's named after him. One of the things that when I was a kid, we always, and I guess how I learned how to drive is, Vinnie, go up to Bridge Auto Parts, which was this auto parts place that was up on Astoria Boulevard. Go up to Bridge and see Joey and get this alternator or this generator or this or that or the other thing. And Joey, you give it to me and put it in the thing and put it out in the car. And I drive back, make the right turn down to 28th Avenue. And boom, go down 28th Avenue to 31st Street, make the right, boom, back into the gas station. And that's how I learned how to drive. I was 14 years old, and he had me driving up, picking up auto parts. So it was a lot of fun. So that's, we'll have some video up on this a little bit later. But the Vinnie, what are you driving this week? The 2026 Toyota Sequoia. TRD Pro, and that's the distinction, the TRD Pro. I think if you're looking for that off-road vehicle, this is one that you have to consider. A couple of things really to get to before we get out of here. And by the way, I do want to remind you that we are brought to you by George Jackson Business Specialties. If you need different kinds of advertising specialties for your customers, you want them to remember who you are. You want to give them, look at this. I got a pen here from Mercedes-Benz of Seattle. George Jackson probably could have done this pen. Give him a good price on it. I use this pen all the time. If I need to tell somebody about a Mercedes-Benz, what am I going to do? I'm going to pick up the pen. Oh, yeah, go see my friends over at Mercedes-Benz. Here's their pen. It's amazing how a little pen like this, a 25-cent pen, will make a $50,000 sale for you. And George, you see him at gjpromo.com. George will take care of you. Make sure that you get a good price, the right pen, not a piece of junk that's going to fall apart. George is going to do the right thing for you. Okay, if you need that kind of thing, if you have a business and you're thinking about re-upping your different things that you give to customers to make them remember who you are, things that you hand out at the different fairs where you have display tables, not towels, what do you call golf towels for tournaments. George has done those for me. All different kinds of tchotchkes that you give out. George has got them for you. He will give you the best stuff and the best deal on the best stuff. Some notes here. Number one, we heard about it last week, but I just wanted to go back to it a second. Honda has flipped the switch on their EV program. They're losing billions of dollars in trashing their EV program. They've decided that EV has not been an answer. They were late to the table with it anyway, and they just decided with everything that was going on at Honda that it just was not prudent for them to continue their electric vehicle program. So they are trashing it. They're going to take billions in losses, which, along with the tariffs, means that you are going to pay billions of dollars if you want to drive a new Honda. It's unfortunately the way of the world, just in time for EVs to come back. If you are a postal fan, as I am, a stamp fan, and matter of fact, I just got a bunch of stamps here. I went to the post office. I couldn't get anything but these out of the machine. Um, these just American flag. But considering what was going on, it was a good to put the American flag off of forever stamps. But the United States Postal Service has come out with a series of lowrider stamps. They pay tribute to cars in many different ways. The post office has over the years, and their latest tribute to driving and the American driver is their series of stamps on the phenomenon from mainly based out of California, now spread to most of the western part of the United States, the lowrider. Several different types of stamps are out there. They're available at your post office or by going to USPS.gov, I think it is, that you have to go to for the USPS. We talked about the Lucid a couple of weeks ago. They are planning 3 new SUVs that they have developed over the last bunch of months. 3 new SUVs, the Earth and the Cosmos are 2 of them. I don't know the name of the third one, but if you keep watching our Facebook page, or you keep watching our the show, either this show or Mike and Vinnie, as soon as we see solid sketches of those vehicles, we will let you know. We're big fans of Lucid on this show, and think that they do a solid job of presenting electric vehicles. And I think is a great alternative to a Tesla. If you are saying to yourself, well, Tesla really knows so much about this, see what Lucid, see what Rivian is putting out there. Rivian also coming out with a couple of new models. See what they're offering as well. You may find out that you are, you might be pretty shocked and pretty surprised at what some of these companies who have decided to stick with their electric business are going to be doing, and the variety that they're going to be able to offer people because they're staying in the market. They've decided that they're going to stick with this. All right, if you're one of those people who take advantage of the Montana loophole. I'm not an RV guy that much. I mean, I know about him and I talk about him because I know a number of our listeners have it. But evidently, there is some kind of loophole with RVs, not SUVs, but RVs from the state of Montana, that you can go out and buy license plates in Montana and are able to register your car there, and it's a perpetual registration. You don't have to renew it every year. You pay a certain amount of money for it, and you don't have to go back and pay it for like 5 years. Well, Montana and the states of Montana, California, Oregon, and Washington are realizing, I think Idaho is in on this too, is realizing how much they're losing with Montana perpetual license plates. They are losing a ton of money. So they have decided that they're just not going to take it anymore. So this week, actually last week in California, the Highway Patrol in California started pulling cars over with Montana plates and wanting to see legitimate proof of residency in states in Montana And people were having a little trouble coming up with that. They not only wanted to see your registration, but they wanted to see a gas bill, some mail. Of the state of Montana. So if you're one of those people that do that, shame on you. But you better have your ducks in a row, because not only can they, from what I understand, not only can they put big fines on you and impound your vehicle, but they can make it, they can make it not the easiest time in the world to get your car back. Just to you start to think, is it worth a couple of $100 that I'm going to save on this? So something to keep an eye on, something to look at, something to say to yourself: do I need the hassle? Do I need all this trouble so I can save a couple of $100? It's up to you to decide. But be careful if you're using that Montana loophole. You certainly don't want to get caught. You just don't want to have the problem. States these days, with the loss of revenues that states are having at the federal level, with the plans that they had for EVs and so on and so forth being pulled by the federal government, and the different things that are going on, all of a sudden there's a need for money in these states, and they're not fooling around. They're going to go after you. If there's a way that they can figure they can get a few bucks out of you, they're going to go after you. Things like toll roads, things like making you pay your fair share for things that you used but have not paid your fair share of prior. Keep your eyes open. They're going to start to go after you for this different kind of stuff. All right. One other quick thing here is the folks at RAM, and we have spoken about RAM and Stellantis ad infinitum over the last few weeks and all the changes that are going on at RAM. But they have seen some of the handwriting on the wall, and they are bringing back what has been a fan favorite of theirs for a long time, but the small van. Vans have gotten out of proportion. They put the roof caps on them, and they've fattened them up, and they've made them bigger, and they've given them all-wheel drive, and they've put so many different things on them that they've made them bigger and fatter, and a lot of people say less agile around the urban environment. They didn't carry as much cargo. Just made it difficult to operate that vehicle in that tight city environment. You see it when you go to New York. You'll see it if you go to downtown Seattle, to LA, to Portland, to San Francisco. It's just a tougher vehicle to maneuver through the streets. So they're going back to the basics. They're going back to that regular van that we were so used to seeing for so many years, until they started to get fat. I don't know if they were happy or not, but they certainly were getting fat. And the folks have said, okay, show us what you got. And the smaller Ram is coming back, and will be much proportionate to things that we are used to from vans, which is going to work perfectly for meal delivery places, food delivery places, grocery deliveries, tailor shops that dry cleaners that deliver, stuff that doesn't require that big, huge van that is going to use twice the gasoline, twice the different space that you would normally need to fill a thing up to the roof, they'll say, okay, well, we'll make 2 trips. It'll be cheaper for us to buy the van. It'll be cheaper for us to go out and insure the van. It'll be just, it'll go back to basics in much the same way that the smaller pickup trucks are coming. So certainly something for you to think about as to what the manufacturers, the OEMs, are doing right now. I think it's a great idea. I think that we need, you know, big trucks, big vans, big cargo vans, big pickup trucks. They have their place, but there's also a lot of places where they don't have their place. If you work in a small town, you work in a city, do you need that big van? Do you need that thing that gushes up and sucks up so much electricity? Ram is betting that you don't, that you'll be able to get by with a smaller van that's easier to handle in city traffic and certainly more compact and has more of an ability to maneuver itself for you to maneuver it through traffic. I don't know what the price drop is going to be, but I expect that there will be some price drop in those particular vans. They're a lot of fun. I like them. Always liked those vans. One of my first cars, I think my third or fourth car, was a '69 Chevy van. A little, what was it? A G20, a G10, a little Chevy van that had little 14-inch tires, and it maneuvered you through city traffic like it was a little compact car, and it was. And you chased through the city traffic, and it was spectacular. Got you everywhere you needed to go without using half the gasoline. I mean, those big tires, those big old hard tires they used to suck up gasoline. These apparently don't. So something that you want to be aware of if you're a van person. I think they're going to be really good for van life as well, for people who like to take their vans camping. You know, we saw that many, many times where we would go when we were kids and rent a Ryder van and go out to the woods with 10 of us and go camping in the woods. We'd be sleeping on top of the van, sleeping in the front seat, sleeping on the floor. You know, everybody bring an air mattress and their different stuff. Light a big old fire, cook breakfast with, I don't know, 20 people, 10 people, couple of vans, and have a lot of fun. You know, now everybody's screaming, "Oh, don't get your mud on my Dior sheets from Brooklyn Bedding." What do I know? Anyway, that's something you should be aware of. And if you're in the market for a van or renting a van, that's something that you probably want to take a look at. All right. Last but not least, let's hit the road trip, okay? The road trip. Listen to me. The radio road test for the week. I got a chance a couple of weeks ago to drive the 2026 Ford Mustang. I got it here somewhere. There we go. No, that's not it either. The Ford Mustang Mach-E GT. This was a fun vehicle. This was a sharp, well thought out. I mean, they've been driving this thing around now, and they've had this thing for a few years, which means that they've had a chance to work on it, to improve it, to make it better. And what they've done is they've come up with a very agile, very responsive, very fly. Oh, that's not the one I want. I want this one. Hang on. We'll get you to the right place. Oh, there we go. Very agile, very responsive, very fun to drive EV. Had a was a lot of had a lot of the stuff that you wanted in an EV. The control panel all in one place on a big iPad-sized screen in the middle. It's a sharp looking. Now I know there's going to be people also right away. It's not a Mustang. Well, you know what? It's not a Mustang in the traditional sense that you think of a Mustang, but neither is a Ferrari in the traditional sense that you think of a Ferrari anymore. But you know what? It's fun to drive. It keeps you interested when you're driving it. It does a lot of the fun things that you want an EV to do, like save gas, save money, be comfortable, um, run your house when your power goes out. We all know that that's probably a good thing to be looking at over the last couple of weeks. The air conditioning works well. The interior is comfortable. The different materials that they use, many of them recycled, are also top grade. Nothing in this vehicle is cheap as far as looking at this thing to say, oh man, I would want to be caught dead in this thing. All of the different materials, all of the different stuff that goes together in this thing, make it a joyful, pleasurable experience to drive it. It is hella fast. Coming in off of the, hitting that gas, and it's got something I love in electric vehicles, that one pedal driving. It'll probably beat almost any Mach 1 or different EV that Ford puts out. The GT has a 281-mile range. As I said, it's remarkable performance, remarkable handling, remarkable ability to keep you invested and interested when you're driving it. And you talk about camping in the car. Well, you know what? There's a lot of space in the back. If you're one of those people like me, you like to get in the car and head down to Ocean Shores for an overnighter, for a little camping, rest, a little camping overnighter. It's all there for you. The electric is there. Yeah, the heat that you'd want, the air conditioning that you want, the ability to go ahead and go out and enjoy the nature. It's all there. And you're not polluting the beach. You're not running the engine for 24 hours. There's plenty of chargers down in Ocean Shores where you can charge up your car before you go to the beach and go to bed. You roll out a couple of sleeping bags back there, and you got a cozy little spot with your friend or just by yourself. As I said, the range, 280 miles. I was very impressed with how quickly this car charged as well. And with the larger battery pack, gave you good range. The central touchscreen on this particular car, I wasn't exactly crazy about it when they first introduced it, but they have really worked on this thing and really, really made it top of the line. I don't know that there's anyone. Maybe the Volvo had the EV that I just drove had a similar experience with the central touchscreen. And as I said, and I've mentioned many times, this particular vehicle has a karaoke machine in it. So if you go down to the beach, even if you take your Mustang and your friends take their ICE cars, you go down, you pick it up, you take it down to the beach, you park it on the beach, you gather your friends around, you turn on your karaoke machine, and you're in business. You're having a ton of fun. And plus, this vehicle will cost you $1,100 less a year to drive than your ICE vehicle, comparable ICE vehicle. That's not a bad deal. That's not a bad deal at all. Vinnie likes that deal. It again, the tech is intuitive. The different stuff that they have in there makes life easier for you as a consumer, as a driver, as a passenger. They have figured this out. Ford has. It's a shame that this is about their only electric vehicle, because I think Ford, because it's been around a while and it hasn't been rushed to production, it was initially, but they've had time to work on it to figure it out. It really has comes a long way. If you have a regular car, it's going to cost you, on average, to drive about $211 a month. Average car. If you drive this car, it's going to cost you about $62 a month, especially if you're charging at home, especially if you have that advantage. This car does charge at Tesla charges, so if you have the adapter, you'll be able to use that adapter. And the only thing that I didn't like about this, that they've done to this, is that Ford knows what they have here. You're not putting one over on Ford and saying, well, gee, I'll go out and buy me one of these because it has all the equipment that it had last year. So Ford decided that they would change the trim levels around. So they've taken out things like Blue Cruise that was standard on the GT, the different, things that came previously with an electric car. Well, now you don't get them with the electric car. You have to pay extra for them. So they got you coming and going. There's no free lunch at this bar. But this was, listen, this was the EGT, went from 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds. Actually, it's funny because the rally turned out to be in Edmonds road test quicker than the GT. Go figure. The seats were supportive, made you feel comfortable when you were driving this car. As I said before, the one pedal driving is a godsend. Couldn't tell you how much I enjoyed. It's not the words to say how much I enjoyed the feel of this particular vehicle. The tech, all the latest stuff is there, and it represented well. Again, I love the karaoke machine. I had more fun stopping to charge up this car. As a matter of fact, there was one time that I stopped and I charged it up, and I had a couple of people, and they were standing next to me, and they saw me singing in the car, and one was kind of looking at me, and I said, it's a karaoke machine. And you know what? They came over, and we all started singing Italian songs for the karaoke. Nothing not to like here. This was maybe an EV. Well, I won't leave out the Hyundai Ioniq N series, the 5 N series. I won't leave that one out. But I thought it was the electric car with the most personality that I've seen an electric car. I loved it. Owners love it. The people that buy these cars love them. And I just thought for an MSRP of $54,000, an electric range of 280 miles, a full charging time of 9.9, almost 10 hours. It was hard to beat this car in any way, shape, manner, or form. There's been a couple of recalls on them, so beware of that if you're going to buy a used one. Got 3-year, 36,000 basic warranty. Let me see what they had for. They had something with the internal parking lock and a recall for the exterior lighting control module. So that's something that you have to be aware of. 3 years, 36,000-mile warranties. There's a lot of them around, and there are great deals to be had on them. So if you're thinking that this would be a very good time to buy an electric car, the Mustang GT, the Mustang Mach-E GT is a car that certainly bears your looking at. I thought it was, like I say, I thought it was a great car. And if you're smart enough to still be in the market for an EV, you still think that these cars have their value and have their worth, that this is a fine vehicle that you should be taking a look at. All right. That's going to wrap it up for this edition of Drive Time Radio. I know we went long today. I wanted to make sure that we got all the information out there that we wanted to get to you. Thanks so much to Ray SHEFSKA and the folks at Car Edge for spending some time with us. I hope you got some information out of Ray and out of his organization, his and his son's organization. I love father and son businesses. I was part of one myself, and I love, to see them thrive and to see them succeed. I just have a soft spot in my heart for guys that go into business and women that go into business with their parents. And it's tough. It's not easy a lot of times. It's not easy to just say, I'm going to do this. And that's it. That's all. You put up with a lot. You put your face out there with a lot. And it's a lot. It's not easy being in business with your parents because the relationship between your parents, where they are your parent, and your parents where they want to be the boss, is sometimes hard to separate. You get that feeling where you are trying to be a good son, but you know something that your parents may not know as much. And you're trying to put that down to them and get them to understand that, but sometimes they don't go for it. They want to be the parent. And it can be hard to walk down that road sometimes. But so I have a lot of respect for people that do it and succeed at it. So thanks a lot to Ray SHEFSKA, and thanks to Zach for sharing his dad with us. Thanks so much to the whole crew that puts this show together with me every week and sends in tips and so on and so forth, and different things that we uncovered during the week that we present to you on the weekends. Thank you so much to all of you who do that. And oh, by the way, somebody just sent me a message. The final assembly for the GT is made. The car is made in Mexico. the final assembly for the vehicle is in Mexico. They don't say exactly what parts are made, but as I said, car's got a lot of personality. I really liked the the Edmunds people put a thing called X Factor in their review, and I just want to quickly read something from it. When it comes to personality and pure driving pleasure, EVs don't get much better than the Mach-E GT or the Mach-E Rally. Both are quick, both sporty handling, and strong brakes. And the Mach-E Rally is a particular charmer, and I would agree with that 100%. All right, I'll put it in the books with nod to Howie Rose, the great broadcaster. Just think, we're a week away from baseball season coming back north. I sure did want to get down to spring training this year, but unless there's a miracle of some kind, I don't think it's gonna happen for me again this year. Hopefully, I'll get down there sometime before I drop dead. But do yourselves a favor. Be nice to each other on the road. Enjoy the time that you have with your family and your friends, and we'll catch up with you next Saturday morning at 11 or thereabouts, if the Lord's willing and the creek don't rise. Peace, love. Take care of the boys abroad and the girls abroad, the women that are fighting for our country. I was kind of hoping I'd never have to go into this again, but take care of our service people. They are sacrificing to protect us out there. And we'll see you next Saturday morning. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye now.